Welcome back to the Keep Going podcast with Vin Kennedy. I'm your host, Vin Kennedy. Today we have a special guest. This is Mike. Mike, you want to do a brief intro on yourself?
My name's Mike DeGeorge. I'm an ultra runner from Albany, New York. I'm a dad, and I'm also a resident assistant for a homeless program.
Awesome. So I definitely want to start with the treadmill stuff. I feel like you probably get a ton of questions around it. Um, so obviously you run basically a marathon every day. I'm not sure how long that's been going on for, but if you kind of want to tap into when that started, how it started, and where you're at.
Yeah, man. So I kind of started getting into running by going to my gym and hopping on the treadmill like every day. Started with me doing a mile every day, then it turned into doing three, then it turned into six, then turned into doing a half marathon every day, and soon enough, I was doing like 20 to 26 miles a day. Um, I ran my first ever marathon on the treadmill. Um, but yeah, man, that's how I kind of started out with it, just by running on the treadmill every day, and it just
Yeah,
kept getting easier and easier.
that's interesting. And I'd be curious to hear like fatigue wise, like do you feel like when you first started doing like 20 miles a day, like were you getting beat up?
Oh yeah, dude, I still am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I wake up most days and I'm like, damn, I really got to go run 20, 26 miles. Like most of the time I don't feel like doing it. You know what I mean?
How did you kind of create that is just like your norm and your baseline now?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, how did you kind of create it that is like, there's just no way around it. That's kind of just like what you do now.
It's a good question. So kind of what got me into doing it is I follow this one guy on Instagram. His name's Tagger Van Etten, and then I kind of followed his training structure. He's the guy that has the world record for the 100 miler on the treadmill, like the world record for 100 miler on the treadmill. So I was
Mhm.
following him. I followed his Instagram and then his Strava, and then seeing like how his training was like, and then I kind of like copied his in a way.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's a hell of a training to copy. So it's not
Right.
definitely not no one can knock you for copying that training. That's wild, man. I'd be curious though, and I see a lot of you sub three a lot or like 3:10. So like were you even aware of like the Boston qualifying times when you first started this? Cause it sounds like you kind of just like hopped into it.
Kind of just hopped into it, man. It's also like a lot easier to like run faster like on a treadmill. You know what I mean? It's a really good tool for like speed work because like you can set it to whatever pace, and the machine does half the work for you. You just gotta like maintain the pace for the most part.
It's very true. And then one thing that I know like pops up in my life a lot is I'm training for an Ironman right now. So I'm on the bike like
Okay.
9 hours a week, which to you probably doesn't sound like much, but I haven't been on a bike like that in a while. So I'd be curious, like I'm kind of like working through in my head like balance. Right now I'm 29, single. I could kind of do whatever I have all the time in the world. I'd be curious, someone in your shoes, you mentioned being a father, like how do you structure balance in your life with your running?
It's a good question. So, really, man, like especially like with what I do, like you have to be like somewhat selfish. You know what I mean? Like I wake up every morning and like the first thing I try to do and get out the way is like my run and like my training. Because like if I put it off for the day, then like because I really try my best to not take a day off. But if like I put it off in the morning and I go and do something else, I'm just thinking about the run like the whole day and like kind of dreading it, and then it puts me in like sort of like a bad mood. But I mean, it is a toxic way to think about it. But like, I just do my best to just wake up in the morning and just try to get it done first thing. But also, especially like with my job, like the hours at my job are like pretty good. So like, on Tuesdays, Tuesdays, like my early day where I gotta wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning because I don't got work until 10. So, I usually wake up like 5, 6 in the morning and then head out or go straight to the gym and try to get like a marathon out the way and then go straight from the gym to straight to work. And then like Wednesdays and Thursdays I go in at 4. So like I have all day really to like, do what I gotta do before I go into work. And then Fridays and Saturdays I do like overnight shift. where like I'm working like midnight to 8 in the morning, which is kind of brutal because like it really does like throw you off. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. But yeah, I have like all day, those days to like kind of get it out the way also, which I really like.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's also it really helps in your favor the fact that you're banging out marathons in 3 hours. So it's not like it's a 5 hour endeavor for you.
Right.
So
I
yeah,
just feel like
definitely.
after a while, if like putting yourself through it, like almost like like damn near every day, like you're bound to like get used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you just keep throwing the stimulus at your body and it kind of like adjusts.
Right.
Do you find
Right.
yourself still
And also
getting,
carbon plated shoes. Carbon plated shoes have helped me out so much. Like so much.
I'm sure. And do you find
Yeah.
yourself like you mentioned earlier, like you still wake up sore even though you're doing this every day?
Um and not as much as I used to, no.
Yeah, it's interesting how
But
the
like
body like
if I'm
responds.
right, right.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be
But like
curious,
I'll
like,
wait but like
no, no, you go.
yeah, on Thursday, like Thursday is like my worst day for my legs, like or like I'll wake up like today's Friday, like I'm sore as hell right now. But like Thursdays is like my leg day, so like I'll bang out, like the marathon run, and then I'll go and hit legs for like an hour, hour and a half after, and yeah, my legs will be toasted, dude.
Yeah. Well,
For
that's
like the
something I
next
was
few
actually
days.
I wanted to ask too, is like how do you work in other training? Like, do you strength train?
Yeah, strength training every day,
Okay, so you strength train
every
and
day.
run a marathon every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
like it's
so
yeah, so like it's like 3.5 hours of cardio for the most part, and then I'll like strength train for like at least an hour,
okay.
hour and a
And then
half.
when it comes to your diet, are you kind of eating like you could probably eat a lot of food?
Yeah, I don't eat junk though. My diet mostly is anywhere from like 10 to a dozen eggs a day. I eat a bunch of like lean meat and rice. Lots of fruits. Um, yeah, it's mostly like my diet, dude. Just eggs
Yeah,
and like meat for the most part, and bread.
that's
I eat a
awesome.
lot of. I mean, I'll eat like bagels and like English muffins and stuff like that.
Awesome.
But that's
And
pretty
then
much.
when it
I eat the same thing almost like every day for the most part. I don't like eating out. I rather just be home and just like cook my own food. You know what I mean? So I know
yeah,
like what I'm putting in my body for the most part. You know what I mean?
way way more control for
And also
sure.
saving money too.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of races do you have coming up?
I got one coming up in like 3 weeks. I'm doing it's called dusk to dawn to dawn to yeah dusk to dawn to dusk or something like that. 24-hour
Mhm.
race. It's in it's May 11th. But it's on a 400-meter track. I never did that before, but I've always wanted to. So that should be
What is
fun.
your what's your goal there?
So me and my buddy Jeff, I've been working with Jeff. He kind of like sponsored me for like his coaching company, Run Love Run. Um, so he's been working with me. He's been setting up like training plans for me and workouts and stuff like that, giving me a lot of advice on nutrition. So like he's helped a lot. But our goal is to try to break the U.S. 24-hour run, which is 173 miles. So I
So you
think
need to
that's
go
like
over
a
173, right?
yeah. So like so like at least 174 we're trying to get.
That's
So we'll
awesome.
see what happens.
And what would that pace be
And
like?
you never know in a race like this, man. Like going for a number that high, everything needs to be like on point.
What would that pace
And
look
with
like?
ultra, it's scary because like if one thing goes wrong, like it's you never know.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. And what are you looking at pace wise for 174?
Uh, Try to stay under 8 minute pace for like a good 12 hours, and then kind of drop it back to like an 8 10 pace for like till we get to like hour 20, and then go from there. But in order to do that, like all nutrition has to be on point. Hydration, like carbs, Like everything just has to be on point. And I like this will be my first race where like that I'm running for Jeff's Run Love Run, and like he's got like a bunch of people that are coming out to like help, me and him, because he's running it too. But like I guess he's got a decent amount of people that are gonna come out to help me and him fuel. And this will be like my first time where like I actually have somebody, like people there like the whole 24 hours to like help me out, like refill bottles, hand off this, hand off that. I've only done two 24-hour races so far. And at the first one, my father was there, and then at the second one, my mother and stepdad were there. Um, but it's a lot to ask for somebody, especially for something like a race like that, like 24 hours. Like I remember my mother and my stepdad were like thinking like, oh, they're gonna be bored the whole time. Like I kept them busy like damn near half the race. Like my stepdad described it as like I felt like I was like in a NASCAR like crew or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot goes
Yeah, that's
into it,
awesome.
man. And
No,
like a lot of
absolutely.
your success from it is who the people that you bring to come and help you out.
Yeah. No, the crew definitely matters. And even
Right.
for just like the mood and the vibe for sure.
Yeah. No.
And what is your fueling plan for something like that, like the track 100 miler? Because 24 hour, I'd imagine like you can't really stop to fuel back up, right? Is it going to be a lot of like hand on the go stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. Um I know Jeff got me this hydration patch. And it kind of gives you like info on like how much like sweat you lose like in an hour, how many electrolytes like you need to start drinking like per hour. So like I know he's writing a plan on that, but also um like my goal is to try to hit like eat like at least like 100 grams of carbs like every hour, and just usually at like the races I do, I take this supplement called Salt Stick. So like I'll take like it's like an electrolyte like capsule. So I'll take one that's caffeinated and one regular, and then I'll take two of those like every 3 miles, and it's got a lot of sodium in it also. And I feel
Mhm.
like those are like key. Those really help.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as far as like, are you doing gels?
Yeah, man. So the gels, same thing. Like every like 3 to 5 miles, a gel or two. But when you're deep in a race, man, like your stomach starts to like act
Yeah.
iffy, and you don't even want to like eat no more, man. So it's like you gotta just try to force whatever down.
Yeah, gels especially. Something that I've learned works for me and some friends too is those like drinkable yogurts because it's like quick calories
Okay.
and you could drink them. So it's just something to think about for
Right.
yourself as well.
Right. 100%. I definitely want to start trying like different things like for this race. Like I've never like for the 224 hours that I've done, I never ate like real food during those races. Like I was eating like Cliff bars and honey stinger waffles and like little granola bars and stuff like that. And then gels for the most part. That's all I really ate for those runs. But Jeff's telling me like, dude, eat real food. Like it's game changing. Like you're gonna do way better. So I'm probably gonna follow his advice on this one and see how it goes.
Absolutely. And your training's so unique because you are running a far distance every day. So you could kind of just keep messing with it while you're on the treadmill running your miles. You could kind of just, test and trial things throughout the days.
Right, which I have been yeah, I've been doing for the most part. Like the last few days, like I've been trying to like eat while like I'm running. Like I'll bring like a peanut butter sandwich, bananas, um, and I've been trying this it's called Tailwind.
Hmm.
Tailwind.
Yep.
It's like
It's a good
electrolyte and like
carb. Yeah.
carb powder kind of thing. Yeah, I've been mixing that with like an electrolyte powder also. I've been taking that, and that's really been helping me out a lot.
It's awesome. And I
I've
definitely
been
want to
out of
hear.
it though lately, man. I'm just like getting off. I just had the flu like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, dude. And I was still doing the marathon like every day with that, and it was so brutal, dude.
Yeah.
I had to keep getting
It's
off a few times to like just pound water, dude. Like I was drinking like 2 gallons of water like every run while I was sick, dude. Like
it's
that
wild.
shit
Yeah.
sucked.
You got through it.
Oh yeah.
And I'd
Um,
be curious to hear about. I know you did 100 miles on the treadmill. What was that experience like?
I wouldn't have been able to do it without Jeff's help, that's for sure. But yeah, man, I was on that's just something I always wanted to do because that's how like my running journey started was by running on the treadmill. Like I always told myself like, oh, I'm gonna run 100 miles on a treadmill one day. Like I said before, like I follow that one dude, Tagger Bennett, and like kind of follow his training in a way. But like, yeah, like he definitely like inspired me to like want to run 100 miles on the treadmill. And I remember I was on that ultra sign up website, and then I seen they had a virtual like race for the 100 miler. So I was like, you know what, I'll sign up and do it. This will be the time to do it. They hand out buckles, and you win like a miniature like treadmill like trophy that's like name plated with like the time you finish it in. If you win the event. So I was like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it. Why not? So like it's kind of a long story, but like I was planning on doing it, and then I planned on doing it, I think like December 8th or something like that, December 9th. And then I remember Jeff hitting me up like the day before December 1st. And he's like, dude, like if you want to do the rate, if you want me to come down to help you, we'll do it tomorrow, like on such short notice. He's like, dude, we'll do it tomorrow. And I just got done doing 20 miles that day. He's like, dude, the only time I can come help you is if tomorrow, so I can come down, I'll bring, gels and whatever else you need to like help you. And I'm like, screw it, like come down and help me because I don't want to do this by myself. If he's willing to like stay the whole time and help me, like hell yeah, dude. So he ended up coming down. He was like a big help. But yeah, I ended up running like 12 hours, 29 minutes, and 32 seconds on the treadmill. But like it was, dude, like he did so much, man. Just refilling bottles. He brought like two fans to like set up on the treadmill. He went to the store for me to buy more water, bananas, bought a bunch of Gatorades for me. And there was like times where like I didn't want to like take like gels or like eat this, but like he's like, dude, take it. Like he was just forcing me to, and like that really helped. So like he was just a big help with that because I wouldn't have gotten close to that time if he wasn't there. Like my goal going into it was like, all right, I'm gonna try to see if I could run anywhere from like 13 to 14 hours and see how it goes. And we kind of crushed it, man.
Yeah,
We were like
absolutely.
an hour under the world record pace, which was pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah, that's incredible. What was your
I got
moving
to like
pace on
mile
that?
50, bro. I got to like mile 50, and so I don't know. I was eating so much. I was eating so much gel like to begin with. Once I got to like mile like 50, 55, I I knew I was about to throw up. So I got off the treadmill. I went right over to the garbage can right next to the treadmill. I just had my head in there, just puking my guts out, dude. And then as soon as it was over, got right back on and finished it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
But
what
yeah,
was
it
your
was
moving
very
time on that? What was your
my
pace on
moving
that?
time
Yeah.
7:23,
Wow. So you
seven
held a
twenty three.
7:23 average pace for 12 hours and then 12 out of 23 minutes ended up being 100 miles on treadmill.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah, yeah. I was
You
averaging
said,
like six like a 650 for like the first half, like the first like 50 miles, and then like I kind of just didn't feel good and just backed the pace off for like the rest of the run.
yeah,
But
smart.
it's solid.
Yeah. And what have you learned about like the guidance? Because I know Jeff's the man. But what have you learned personally about like guidance and coaching? Like, how has that really helped you?
Guidance and coaching. Repeat it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, what would you say is like the biggest thing that you've learned or the biggest takeaway you have from just having a coach?
Biggest takeaway: just having the support, like having somebody believe, like another person, like believe in you. Um, for the most part, like investing their time and just he's giving me like a bunch of advice on like you know nutrition, what to eat, and just made like we had a 6 hour race like a month ago, and like he wrote up like a pretty good like training block for me, and like I ended up like PRing like in the 50K, and like I ran like 50 miles in 6 hours, and had like and was like close to like a 7 flat pace. But like I wouldn't have got that if like I didn't follow like his advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say is like good advice that you would give to a younger version of yourself?
To a younger version of myself,
Yeah,
um, young, advice a younger version of myself. Uh, put the weed down. Stay away from these people that think are your friends, and go be with your family.
yeah. I think that's really important. Do you think running helps you
Yeah.
like stay grounded in that?
Oh, 100%. Like it's got me off like a lot of bad habits. Got me away from smoking. Got me away from hanging out with people that are going nowhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what really
But
made you
like
start?
another,
Yeah,
I was
know what
just
you're
about
saying?
to answer that. So, um, I told somebody this, but I was big into sports growing up. Like I loved playing baseball and football. And then once I got to high school, I kind of just stopped playing sports, and just became like a loser, just smoking like a chimney, being stupid, doing dumb things. Um, but how I got into running, like I remember I seen Zach Bitter. He had the original U.S. 24-hour record, and I remember I was at work and I seen that, and I'm like, damn, like I never know somebody could run 100 miles in like a 6 minute pace, and that kind of inspired me too. And then I started running, but like running kind of gives me the same feeling as like it gives me that same nostalgic feeling after you get from like a hard football practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, it gives you the rewarding feeling of doing something worth doing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
also just give you something to look forward to every day, you know?
Yeah, totally. And what keeps you going? Like when you're in the pain cave and you have a 24-hour race and you only have a couple hours left and you're holding a fast pace, like what is something that you tap into mentally that like allows you to keep pushing?
When I'm in a race,
In a race or just even on the daily, right? When you wake up and you're tired and it kind of sucks, but like you have to go do your marathon, like what do you say to yourself in your mind?
that nobody's doing this. Not a lot of people are doing this every day consistently.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like people train for races and stuff. I mean, I'm training for races and stuff like that too, but like for the most part, I just want to do it every day. I'm At the end of the day, I'm not training for like a race. Like I just like doing it. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I just
Absolutely.
like I don't know, there's just something about running long distance and just turning, your brain off and just focusing on your breathing and your running pace and enjoying the outside, and or just, killing miles on the treadmill. Like there's nothing better.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I did that post a couple weeks back, and it's so true, man. Like, and I'm doing it every weekend, and like people are like, "Oh, it's crazy! You run a marathon every Saturday, or you run like between a marathon to like 30 miles every Saturday." And I'm like, it's so cool to know that there's a dude out there doing it every day in yourself. Like to me, that's the coolest part. Is like there's always someone doing more.
100%. And that's what also keeps me going too, is getting messages like that. Like that's why I like posting my stuff on Instagram also, because then you get people that are like, oh dude, like I seen your post. Like I didn't feel like doing nothing today, and I seen you post, your run, and then it made me want to go out and do a few miles or whatever. So that's what's up.
No, absolutely, man.
That's the
And
good part about
what
social media.
yeah, the connection part. So true. And you get to
Yeah.
inspire and help other people for sure.
Right. Right.
And what's the date of your race?
May 11th,
Okay. Awesome.
Saturday to Sunday, and then I also got another one coming up in in November, but that one's in Arizona. It's
What's
called
that
like
entail?
The Fat Ox or something like that. But it's a 24-hour, and I guess it's like a USATF 24-hour championship race,
Awesome.
which is
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
cool.
excited to see what you
But
do
I'm
with these.
pissed though, because the dude that has the world record, the U.S. record for the 24-hour run, his name's Nick Quarry, but he reached out to me on Strava and was like, "Dude, I would love to have you at Desert Solstice and, run some miles with me." And I'm like, "Dude, what? Like, that's so sick."
Yeah.
But of course, it's like the week after the Fat Ox race that I already signed up for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah. It is
would
what it
do
is.
both, but like I'm not gonna fly down to Arizona to do this race and then come back up and then fly down a week later to do another one. It's just a lot, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But I appreciate the
Yeah.
time, man. Thank you very much. And I'm excited to see what you do at these races.
Oh yeah, man. Keep killing it, dude. You said
You
marathon
too,
every
bud.
weekend?
Yeah. Trying.
There you go, dude. Keep it going.
Same to you, man. Thank you again.